Yeah, so I took the cover off this generator. I started it up yesterday. Oh, I love this old thing. Been sitting down here. A mouse built a nest in the bottom of it. I don't have time to redo it necessarily right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the debris out of it. It was making a little bit of a squealing noise, and I don't know if it's these brushes right here or if it was the bearing up here in the front. Now the bearing in the back is part of the engine, but I don't know. This is a Lincoln Welder. It says I don't even know what the model number is, but we'll see. Whatever that is. I mean, these things here are nearly indestructible. However, this one's been used and abused. It does have a couple of minor gas leaks I need to fix. But I was happy that it started up yesterday and worked. And then when I opened it up and saw this corrosion and stuff, I was absolutely amazed that it did work. I've used this thing a lot though. Plan to fix it if it breaks, but right now I'm just kind of going to spray some silicone down to try to slow the rusting. Let that dry before I start it. Maybe try to coat some stuff. Remove some debris so no rust is flying around out there. Probably ought to clean the contacts here with some light sandpaper. Get that up in there so it soaks into that rust and maybe slow it down, because one problem is I don't know if some of these components go bad, if they would even be obtainable. Although they did build stuff super good back in the day. Those days are gone, and a new one would last no time flat compared to how long this one's lasted. But yeah, I'll just clean it up for a little while. Just coat stuff down with silicone. Hope to God that nothing major happens to it. Because, you know, the new ones, they all have aluminum windings and whatnot. So these slip rings, I'm not going to make them shiny. A lot of people will. That's a mistake. When you read about brushes and rings, they should be brown. They should look like chocolate. I'm going to do the same thing up here on these rheostats. I'm just going to do a light sand. You don't want to put a bunch of score marks in it. You don't want to make it perfectly clean looking. There's a temptation to make it shiny. That's not what you want. You want it to be like a chocolate color, especially on these ones that are spinning continuously. I'll just check the brush length. It's kind of hard to see, but they appear to be okay in length. And then I'm just going to put it back together. Yeah, so this is kind of the finished look I'm looking for. It's nothing super clean. Doesn't matter. It just needs to not have a large amount of buildup on it. You know, I'm going to do those a little bit more because they're still corroded. I've kind of done the same thing up here on, I don't know if I can get in there to see those. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a good picture of that. Yeah, so there's some contacts on the front side of this output selector. This thing has never really done more than, say, this thing has never really done more than 150 amps well. It'll get up around 170 is about the max, because the engine doesn't have enough power to pull it up to the 200s range. Of course, you know, it's old as dirt, but all these other controls work just fine. Of course, you know, it's got a little bit of something going on there. And by the way, this thing is completely disconnected from all loads. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this cover back on. Get a couple of these screw holes lined up. Of course, you know, like every old thing you ever had, I do not have every screw that goes in this thing, but I will try to get a couple of these started in the right holes. Get in that hole. Yeah. Getting there. Looks like that bottom one there is a good candidate for a hole that still lines up. So she was leaking a little bit, just dripping yesterday. I just put the seal all on here. That's got to be the best stuff for fixing a gas tank I've ever heard of. This thing leaked a couple years ago, and I put some down here. It dried up over the night, so I just put a light coating on there. It'll be fine. If it leaks, I'll put some more on it. The gas tank leaked probably 5 years ago, and I put some on it, so if it lasts another 2 or 3 years, that's worth the $4 it takes to buy that. Praise the Lord. Well, we didn't seal that up. I think some other spot's leaking. I think I must have where that spot was leaking at. Looks like it may be coming out of that valve. Anyway, put a little bit of gas in it. I'm going to start it. See what we have here. Probably not going to weld today, but let's see what happens.